And in the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate, the votes were counted overnight, and State Representative James Tallarico is the projected winner over Congresswoman JASMINE Crockett after taking almost 53% of the vote.
Tonight, the people of our state gave this country a little bit of hope.
Okay, I'm so upset. I cannot believe this is happening to our country. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself.
JASMINE Crockett lost for the same reason that Kamala lost. You guys are pandering to a certain type of black woman and using Cardi B.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Health and Motivational Journey. Today, we will be discussing the Democratic primary race in Texas with JASMINE Crockett versus James Tallarico. Going to talk about some of the things that was done during the campaign that may have went in her favor and may have not went in her favor, resulting in her losing this Democratic primary race. Let's see what Brother Stephen A. Smith has to say.
That was his style. And he was focusing on Ken Paxton, a Republican candidate for the United States Senate, who's an attorney general in Texas, and was focusing on him because it's widely believed that he will beat John Cornyn eventually, particularly in their runoff. Whereas she was focused on Trump.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of times we kept hearing her get into online debates, online spats argument with Donald Trump, and she wasn't really focusing on the Democratic primary race. It's kind of like she took for granted that she would beat James Tallarico. He was a fairly no name. His popularity level was very low, especially compared to her. She had the leader of the free world, the most powerful person in the world, mentioning her name, Donald Trump, going back and forth. So she thought she was hot, and she was hot, but she ran up against something, and she took things for granted, and Texas spoke to her.
And not giving him an inch to breathe, and being all up his you-know-what for every little thing that he did. And what did Texas say? You see, this comes back to what I was trying to say months ago, weeks ago. I'm like, how JASMINE Crockett chooses to express herself, I'm like, is that going to help your district in Texas? Aren't you there to find a way to get stuff done as opposed to just being an impediment to what Trump wants? How much work goes into that? I'm just going to go off about Trump, cuss him out every chance I get, say the most derogatory, incendiary things imaginable, and that's my day's work. That ain't work. Work is saying, that's the man in power. I know what his agenda is. I'm not exactly in a position to stop him since the Republicans have the Senate and the House. But maybe if I'm willing to work with this man, I might get something out of it for my constituency. She's supposed to be there to represent the people of Texas.
And see, that was just constructive criticism. That wasn't no disrespect to her. She took it as being disrespectful. All he was trying to do was explain to her, this is where you need to be focusing on. Continue to focus on the state of Texas. Focus on your constituents here in your state. Stop always trying to come at Donald Trump. Stop always being distracted. Don't let Donald Trump continue to distract you. And what did we see? All of these distractions caused her to fumble the Democratic primary race.
That woman smart as a whip. Licensed to practice law in the state of Texas, Arkansas, and federally. She's been in the House of Representatives for years. Trump is spewing her name. She's got a national profile. She was far more known than James Tallarico. He had to be introduced by members of the Hispanic community weeks before the election. They didn't even know who he was.
Yeah, and that's true. Like I mentioned, her popularity level is very high. She really should have won this race very easily. She thought she was going to win it very easily, and we see what happened. She took a lot of things for granted, was campaigning only to the black folks, not knowing that this is a state of Texas. 31 million people. She should have been focusing on communicating to the Latinos, the white folks, the black folks, everybody in that state. But we see what happened. She was only catering to the black folks, and the Latinos turned their back on her, even though she was one of the main ones crying about ICE, crying about immigrations, so forth and so on. And we see where that got her. So it's a lot of learning lessons in this particular race that we have just witnessed.
So Heidi beat her. Styles make fights. And his style worked for Texans. Slice it any way you want to. It worked for Texans.
They are crazy because they always talk about how Christian they is. Yeah, I don't know how many of them on that side are getting divorced because they getting caught up sleeping with their co-workers, staffers, interns, all the things. Yeah, you ain't got to believe me. Just go Google. You'll find some of it. I'm telling you, and the wives is being messy and petty. They putting it in the divorce. I'm like, ooh, that's got to be true because your lawyer would know that they going to look.
That is not traditional coming from someone who is a politician. That is not being politically correct, which is where that term came from. So she really have to learn some of the things that is benefiting her and some of the things that is not benefiting her.
And I am officially running for U.S. Senate, child. They tried to run me out my district.
Y'all,
So
early primary voting is happening right now in Texas.
And once again, they're bringing out people like Cardi B, bringing out people like Megan Thee Stallion, like Kamala Harris did, and that backfired. You know, I would bring out somebody who's more level, like Angela Bassett or something like that. Cardi B, come on now. Cardi B got issues going on with all her kids, with Stefan Diggs, with the dude from the Migos. The last person that you want to be endorsing you, or you want to have endorsing you, is Cardi B. It's cool to be endorsed by Cardi B, but you don't want to have that on the forefront. You don't want to have that as far as part of your political campaign. Got Cardi B on the forefront. Cardi B t-shirts with Jasmine Crockett t-shirts. You got to be careful who you align yourself with. We've seen how it caused the downfall of Kamala Harris. Now we're seeing Jasmine Crockett run the same play that Kamala Harris ran, and it did not work out for either of the two ladies.
And we need Jasmine Crockett to win. She is running for U.S. Senate. And if you want somebody that's going to fight for your right, if you want somebody to fight for your community, if you want somebody that's going to go up there and represent you and represent your issues, please vote for my sister, Jasmine Crockett.
And in the Democratic primary for U.S. Senate, the votes were counted overnight, and State Representative James Tallarico is the projected winner over Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett after taking almost 53% of the vote.
Tonight, the people of our state gave this country a little bit of hope. And a little bit of hope is a dangerous thing.
Like I say, man, nobody never knew of James Tallarico. Now he's going to be a household name. He is going to be one of the guys that is going to be fighting for the senator seats. There's only 100 senator seats in the United States. Each state has 2 senators representing each state. Jasmine Crockett, we thought she was going to run a better campaign race to get one of those senator seats. We know she has been in the House of Representatives congressional seats since, 2023? 2 or 3 years. James Tallarico has also been in the House of Representatives since 2018, but he have just been on a lower level, have not been as nearly as polarizing as Jasmine Crockett. Her future could have been bright, still could be bright. She needs to get a new campaign manager. She needs to switch some things up. Every 2 years, the House of Representatives seats are put up for re-election. Next year, 2026, she will be up for re-election. Will she win again as the House of Representatives? Will she win again? She needs to really change some of the people, some of the campaign managers that is on her side.
We were able to keep the polls open.
But I can tell you now that people have been disenfranchised. Unfortunately, this is what Republicans like to do. And so they specifically targeted Dallas County, and I think we all know why.
So
Here's an example of sticking to the
Republicans wanted to do that, but this was Democrat versus Democrat. So Republicans said, let's go ahead and choose James Tallarico. It was the Republicans that caused Jasmine Crockett to lose.
talking points no matter what. Remember, Jasmine Crockett ran the Democratic primary, but instead of addressing the Democrat establishment, who obviously didn't want her to win, she's acting like she just ran against a Republican. Yeah, she's saying all of this. Instead of addressing the Democrat establishment, they put Tallarico up to go against her.
Now that's deep because she has been very pro-Democrat, Democrats this, Democrat that, and now you see how the Democrats really feel about you. If you think that this was all set up, if you think that this was staged and the Democrats wanted him to go and they did whatever they could to put him before you, you've been one of the main proponents of Democrats, of the Democratic Party. And now you can see, and they're showing you how they feel about you. You've been anti-Republican. Which side are you going to go on now?
Bunch of Democrat voters chose him over her. But no, she's not going to address that.
If Jasmine Crockett lost the primaries because of racism, remember, it was racism from her own party. She wasn't running against a Republican. She was running against a Democrat. And she herself said that they were darkening her skin and being racist towards her. Jasmine Crockett lost because the Democrats no longer have a use for her. They only use black people to be loud and to relate to their base.
Hands down, Jasmine Crockett was gassed up to run this campaign, thinking she was going to win a statewide election, all because delusional supporters of her Sister Girl Housewives Act boosted her ego so much she lost her mind and the little common sense she probably had. Jasmine Crockett allowed all these people that don't even live in the state of Texas, these hot Cheeto bodega thought buckets from everywhere else except from Texas, she allowed these people to really mess her mind up. It's safe to say that Cardi B endorsement didn't work. In fact, at this point, Cardi Humpty Dumpty had a great fall B is a curse to these campaigns. But I guess they didn't figure that out yet. We are tired of you throwing up strippers and dumb rappers to tell us what to do. Now you see that same group out here, they're losing it, out here crying on social media, and I mean nasty crying too. Just nasty.
Oh, God, I gotta go wipe my face in a minute. But I'm gonna let myself feel it. I'm giving myself grace. I'm learning grace. Because as a black woman, we don't get that. Why would I vote for James Tallarico, a white man, when I live in Harris County, and we are the highest county for black maternal death rate?
Well, she said, why would she vote for James Tallarico? Everybody has one vote. Everybody has their right to pick and vote for who it is that they want to vote for. You chose to vote for Jasmine Crockett. Shouts out to you. Some other people chose to vote for James Tallarico. At the end of the day, there's going to be one of the individuals to win and one of them to lose. Just goes that Jasmine Crockett was the one to lose. But you don't take it personal. A lot of black people don't really get out there and vote. Jasmine Crockett was catering very heavily to the black voters. They let her down. She should have known that she had to go out there and campaign to the masses. So this is what happens when you don't have the proper campaign managers behind you.
What the that white man gonna do for us?
The same thing Jasmine Crockett was going to do for you. Nothing.
Not a thing.
Right. Like she said, the same thing Jasmine Crockett was going to do for you. And that goes down to Kamala Harris. What was Kamala Harris going to do for us? Same thing that Donald Trump and Joe Biden was going to do for us. What is James Tallarico going to do for you? Same thing Jasmine Crockett was going to do for you. You and we have to ultimately learn to do for ourselves at the end of the day. History have always shown us that.
He doesn't understand the struggles it is to be a black woman here in Texas. He doesn't understand that.
I don't need none of them to understand that. But if they want to step to black people, I need them to not show up empty-handed. Yeah, come to us with policies for black Americans, specifically, just like they go to immigrants with pledges and policies for them. You come to us with the pledges and policies for black Americans. Very simple. And neither one of them did it. So why will you be in your car, bawling your little eyes out about any of these people, including your Lord and Ratchet Savior, Jasmine Crockett?
But instead, he was the safest choice for white people because they're not ready to fight. They're not understanding how serious this is, and so they picked the safer white option. And they've continued to do that all throughout history.
Okay, I'm so upset. I cannot believe this is happening to our country. Y'all should be ashamed of yourself.
Wow.
I can't with the baby bot bimbo babble. Like, ew, just disgusting. Doing all this coughing and hacking, just nasty. Grown women crying and snotting over Jasmine Crockett. Like something is really wrong with these people. They're not mentally right. To be obsessed with these people so much that you'll go on social media embarrassing yourself, crying and snotting all over these gangbangers. Y'all already know this gangland. And crying all day over the blue Crips and the red bloods is just crazy. Like, I just can't.
Jasmine Crockett lost for the same reason that Kamala lost. You guys are pandering to a certain type of black woman and using Cardi B. We are not the same. We do not need to be boxed in as a certain kind of woman. Kamala goes only to the hood to get her message out there. Her message is and she doesn't talk about family planning. She skipped right over birth control, right over even adoption, straight to offering a and only speaking about this in the hood and going to clubs. You're using the same formula and losing over and over and over again.
She could not have been kinder. She could not have been sweeter. And I could not have appreciated more what she said to me. I said to her, "Are you mad at me too?" And I'm only saying this because she didn't ask me to be quiet and keep things confidential. She was just a kind lady that approached me to let me know she was Jasmine Crockett's mother. And she said to me, when I asked her, "Are you upset at me too?" She said, "No, I'm actually here to thank you."
And see, this is just the difference between some of the elders and some of the young folks. Jasmine Crockett, mother, even knew that Stephen A. was right. He was right into telling Jasmine Crockett what direction she should be going in. Was he criticizing her? Yeah, he was criticizing her, but it was constructive criticism. Jasmine Crockett took it personal, some of the things Stephen A. was trying to tell her, which would have benefited her in this Democratic primary race. Had she listened to Stephen A., stop going so heavy after Donald Trump. Focus on Texas. Stop getting derailed. Stop getting distracted. Let's go ahead and take care of the business at hand, which is the Democratic primary race. But what did she do? She took it personal and she lashed out at Stephen A. Smith in a disrespectful manner.
Because you are a person that repeatedly compliments my daughter. You remind people that she is educated. Mm-hmm. You remind people that she is accomplished. And you remind people that she can accomplish great things. And I appreciate that. Go back and look at my clips, at the things that I've said about Jasmine Crockett, and you will find that to be true. It's absolutely true. But you wouldn't know that from what she put on Instagram. And I love how it's totally cool. I gotta watch everything that I say. And I gotta watch everything that everybody that I talk to and all of this other stuff. But you can go on Instagram and call me a modern day Django.
Yeah, that's too bad. You know, with this new cancel culture they have going on out there, Stephen A. Smith got to skate around and watch everything that he say when it comes to Jasmine Crockett. But Jasmine Crockett can say the most vile, disrespectful things to Stephen A. Smith. And for her to be coming at him, while he is her elder, she should be looking up to him, being respectful of him. She is outright disrespecting him, not knowing that Stephen A. Smith could be one of her best allies. Stephen A. Smith is very well respected, very popular guy, very knowledgeable. He would have loved to come alongside Sister Jasmine Crockett and help her in her campaign race, help her to win this Democratic primary race, which is what her goal was. But what did she do? Took it personal and started to become disrespectful. Now I'm sure Stephen A is probably like, you know what? It is what it is. Good luck to you, but I am no longer going to be assisting you. How dare you call me a modern day Django?
As a representative for the United States of America, you can engage in that kind of verbiage. All because I asked a question that I wanted you to answer. That part saddens me.